Welcome to What's Working. I'm CAM MARSTON. What's Working is brought to you by Regions. Happy to have you along for the ride on yet another episode. Each of the guests that we interview, I'm excited to learn a little bit about their business, to hear the behind-the-scenes stuff that makes their businesses so unique. The one that we're going to interview today, I know more about than most of the guests that we've had on because I'm a customer of this business and have been a customer for, I think, maybe 5 times over the past 5 or 6 years. We're going to talk about an indulgence of mine today that I just can't get enough of. If I had more money, I would do it at least 2 or 3 times a year, and that is going to Argentina to go wing shooting. Several years ago, after a frustrating hunt in the Cordoba province, I began doing some research to find another place to go. And I came across this place, Tuku Lodge in the Salta province. The reason we went was the pigeon hunting there was better than any, according to the reviews, better than any place anyone had ever been. There's 2 species of pigeons in Argentina that we shoot. They decoy, and the decoys are set up in the field prior to the hunt, and you step into that blind, and you hunt this. It's essentially, if you're a hunter, it's a duck hunter on dry land with one notable exception, is you don't call them, but they do decoy just like a duck would. And it's an awesome hunt. When we first went into Tuku Lodge, managed by Druetta, we were taken aback by the niceness of the lodge, and then secondly, and most importantly, the reason we were there, the quality of the shooting. We spent 2 days hunting doves, 2 days hunting pigeons, and came away from that saying, we'll never go anyplace else again. Christian manages Tuku Lodge in the Salta province, and he has the only license to be an outfitter in Salta, which, for comparison's sake, Salta, the state, the province of Salta, is larger even than the state of Alabama, meaning he has access to fields and lands, etc., jungles, to use that's the correct term, for the Dorado fishing, all over. And every time we go, we have an impeccable experience. I want to know from Christian what it's like to deal with me, people like me. Now, I've hunted with enough people in my trips to Argentina over the years to know that there are people that will fly a long, long way to sit in a lodge in a remote part of the nation to drink. That's not me. That's not my people. That's not what we go to do. There are also those that will fly a long, long way to shoot until they can shoot no more. They spend gobs of money settling up on the shells that they've shot. That's not me. That's not my game. That's not what I'm after. I'm there to find something different, to see something sensational, and in the same time, get some wonderful shooting in. It's rare that it's never in Alabama, look up to see a flock of parrots flying over, look up to see a flock, what must have been hundreds of green parakeets flying over, a toucan, 5 or 6 different types of raptors flying over. It's amazing. And if you're a birder, there is no place better than this. The last element that I want to put on this before you get bent out of shape about hunting, if that's your attitude, these birds that we hunt in Argentina consume 25% of the farmer's crops. Let me say that again, 25%, meaning that these birds have an extraordinary amount of food to eat. They do. These are all agricultural fields that we hunt over. And they have so very few natural predators. Other than the hawks and the things of that nature, they're jaguars and things like that. But what does a jaguar eat? What does a hawk eat? 1, 2 birds a day, every other day? The countless millions of these birds is something to behold. And these farmers lose 25% of their crops to these birds every year. So by going there and shooting, we are doing our best to do these farmers a favor and help them keep their crops. But in truth, we don't even really touch the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the volume of the birds. Me and my 2 boys, with the chef there that they call Mosquito, a most extraordinarily charismatic human being that cooks good food for us in the fields, has entertained me for every year that I've been down there. Love Mosquito. It's a remarkable place to be. It's like nothing I've ever seen before, and I can't wait to see again, and I can't get enough of it. Druetta manages these memories, these experiences, these expectations at the world-famous Tuku Lodge in the Salta province. You're listening to What's Working. I'm CAM MARSTON. What's Working is brought to you by Regions. Christian Druetta manages these memories, these experiences, these expectations at the world-famous Tuku Lodge in the Salta province. You're listening to What's Working. I'm CAM MARSTON. What's Working is brought to you by Regions, and on the line I have with me Christian Druetta. I know he's in the Salta province in Argentina, and we can't wait to have this conversation. Christian, thank you. Welcome back to What's Working.
Hello, Cam. How are you? Hello to the audience. Here, we are in Argentina, close to the Bolivia border, 150 miles, 180 miles, just to give you an idea for where we are.
Yeah, the northernmost stretches of Argentina. Honestly, Christian, I hadn't heard of Salta, and this is shame on me. I hadn't heard of Salta till I found Tuku Lodge. Salta's not a small town. Salta's got 1 million people in it, doesn't it?
Well, Salta, with a lot of tourists coming from all over the world, has a lot of good things to do besides shooting doves or fishing and for hunting. They have the famous Train of the Cloud, the wine country, and a lot of people come to see this thing in the northern part of Argentina.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I've had some friends come and visit your lodge and then tour onward from there. I've only ever come to visit to shoot the birds, but they visited you and toured on from there, and they had a number of wonderful things to say, and it's something I've said over and over again. I need to get down there and look around. All I ever do is go to the lodge, which is glorious, and hunt, which is even more glorious, but need to come down there and look around for a while. So I get people on the phone who I'm already aware of their business. So I'm somewhat aware of yours, having visited with you 4 or 5 times now. I forget the number. But for the guests, tell them who you are, what you do, tell them about Tuku Lodge, and we'll then get your story.
Well, I am in the business for a long time. I started doing this hunting and fishing in the south of Argentina. And then over the years, we started hearing about the problems from the farmers, the dove problems. The doves, they were eating all the crops and the sunflower fields and sorghums. I'm talking about 19 years ago. So I say, well, I should go to this province and see what happened with the population of birds. So I came down to this province, to Salta, talking to the farmers. They say, oh, yes, we have this kind of situation here. I mean, we lose 20, 30% of the crops every year because the birds. So I started scouting the area. It was crazy. I mean, at the beginning, it was just unbelievable. Compare the population of the doves and pigeons to the south of Argentina. It was just insane. I can show you videos. I can show you pictures, but you're not going to believe it. And I say, well, this is going to be really good to start building a lodge and start setting in this area because it's no other place in the world. It's just here. So that's what we did. We start building lodge, start doing all the things to provide the client all the best.
Yes, I've been to Cordoba a number of times, as you know, but I haven't seen anything like I've seen since coming to Salta to hunt in your lodge. And while this is the show is not intended to be a full-throated endorsement of a business, there is, folks, I can tell you, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it.
Well, here we can shoot doves all year round, and pigeon is mostly from May to September. Plenty of doves, a lot of pigeons, a lot of dorados.
People in the U.S. that are eager to get there and begin their hunt again, Christian, I know you hire scouters, you hire cooks, you hire bird boys, you hire gun cleaners. There's a small economy that you take care of there as a result of opening a lodge and making it available to the hunters like you do. What has become of them since this happened? Are they still around the lodge? Have they returned back to their homes across the country? Where are they?
During the quarantine, they have to stay home. But now in Salta, actually, we have some kind of luck here because we don't have any coronavirus cases. We can move around. We can go outside. We can do local tourism for local people, for Salteños, for example. And actually, we have a group of local people last week at Tuku. Bird boys, chef, we don't fire anyone. We just keep them working with us. We will need them later on.
The birds that people come down there to hunt, the fish they come down there to fish for, haven't been touched in a while. They've had no pressure on them since March. which means they're probably getting arrogant, flying slow, flying low, and reproducing in extraordinary numbers. Do you have a sense of what the hunters are going to experience when they finally get back down there?
It's crazy. You know, I just came yesterday from the lodge. I am in Salta City right now. I've been scouting all the area and talking with farmers. The numbers, as I told you, I can show you pictures, I can show you videos and tell you a lot of things about the volume of the doves and the number of the birds, but you're not going to believe it until you get here. I was talking with one farmer yesterday and he say, I lost 35% of the sunflower fields. I mean, he couldn't harvest it anymore. To stop because I was losing money. And the time they have to pay the combine and to pick nothing from the crops, it just stopped it. So they reproduce like crazy. Dogs, for example, here, they have a perfect climate, the perfect habitat for them. They have the roost, good temperature, they have water, and have food. So they reproduce 4 times a year, 2 hatches per nest. So you do the simple math. It's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. Tell me, Christian, you showed me one of the roosts one time. We drove up into it. It's amazing. It's white with bird droppings. How many birds are in that roost? I think it's the St. Mary's roost or something like that.
We have several roosts nearby, and one of the main roosts that we have has 10 million doves in just one roost. I mean, if you can walk inside the roost, it's no grass. It's
unbelievable. 10 million birds
crazy.
In one roost, and there are multiple roosts. Folks, we got Christian Druetta on the line. He manages the Tuku Lodge in the Salta province. He's talking to us in Salta, Argentina. You're listening to What's Working. I'm CAM MARSTON. What's Working is brought to you by Regions. Christian Druetta, he manages Tuku Lodge in the Salta province. He takes hunters from across the world on some of the best wing shooting expeditions they'll ever go on. He takes them on Dorado fishing tours in the jungles and the rivers there in the Salta province. If you're an outdoorsman, it's heaven on earth. If you're a bird lover, it's heaven on earth. Christian, one of the things that I enjoy so much about coming to visit your place is not just the shooting, and I certainly do enjoy that, but it's the extraordinary diversity of wildlife that one can see out there. If you're a birder, if you enjoy observing the birds, and from a guy in North America, this is just amazing, but you can be underneath a flock of parrots as it flies over, parakeets, at least it seems like a half dozen or more different types of raptors flying over. Then, of course, there's the emu that's feeding out on the field in front of you. Talk to me about the diversity of wildlife in the Salta province. You know, my experience is hunters often are also the greatest conservationists. What do they see when they get there? What is their aha moment when they see what you've brought them to?
When we go sometimes to the different type of fields, we go for 3 full days, 4 full days of shooting. On those days, you go different fields every day, and on the trip to those fields, you can see a lot of animals that we have in the area. For example, there's 7 types of cats, like a puma, like a jaguar. You see tracks, you see brocadiers. So when you go to the Dorado River, you see the tapir, you see the pheasant, native pheasant from this area. They call charata, turkeys from Salta. They are black, good to eat. And also we have porgies, type of quail, partridge, and a lot of animals around here.
Yeah. We've seen toucans. I've never yet seen a puma down there or a jaguar. I've seen their tracks. They're nighttime animals, and I'm not really interested in going out at night and trying to find one in case it might want to find me. But I've seen the tracks down there. It's really such a diverse array of wildlife. Now, your hunters come with the goal of quality wing shooting, and you have a very demanding clientele. It's very unlikely, here's my guess, Christian, you can straighten me out here if I'm wrong, that your hunters come and this is their first time to Argentina. Most of them have experience in doing this before, and they know what they want. You are the equivalent, I would say, of a concierge in a 5-star hotel, meeting exact demands of food, of wine selection, cigar selection for those that smoke cigars, and of course, the hunting. Tell me what it's like being the concierge of a five-star experience with hunters that have traveled sometimes halfway across the world to be in your lodge and to shoot those birds.
In 2019, we revamped it to have 3 more rooms to our lodge, tried to thinking about the quality of product to provide to the clients. So we had 3 more rooms, 2 new massage boxes, open bars outside. We changed all the mattresses, sheets, and everything to provide the best thing for them. We have new menu on the lodge. We did a lot of things. We bought 4-wheel drive vehicles. So the lodge has been revamped, and we did that for the clients. The service, the managing, the chef, furnishing, everything to provide them the best.
Tell me about your client, Christian. Who are they? In my experience, they're typically male, a lot of Texans. Tell me who your client is. What are they looking for from you?
We have clients mostly from Texas. They like to shoot a lot. They like to, drink some good beers, have a good asados, and shoot as much as they can. But also we have some others from Europe, from the Dominican Republic, some from Mexico. The clients, what they're looking for is 5-star service, good lodge, good food, good service. And in this particular lodge, which is Tuku, you find a different kind of things in the same place. For example, you can shoot doves in big numbers. I mean, you can shoot 1,000 doves in a day, or 2,000 doves in a day, or 3,000 doves. I mean, it depends how much your shoulder can take. And so the next day, you can go pigeon shooting, which is another type of shooting, like duck shooting, but on the ground, with decoys, pigeon, carousels. These pigeons coming into the decoys, you can get 200 per day or 250, something like that. It's just crazy. The next day, you can go fishing, for example. Go to the pristine, untouchable jungle and be fishing on the crystal clear water for the big dorado fish.
I remember, Christian, hearing that some of the numbers, and folks, you got to consider this. There's a roost there that holds all these doves at night. Christian told us a little bit about it in the previous segment. But holds 10 million doves, 10 million. And there are people that hear me say to my friends here in town that you could shoot 1,000 birds in a day, 1,000 doves in a day. And they say, gosh, that's so many. But when you're talking about 10 million doves in one roost, then 1,000 is the tip of the iceberg. And Christian, a lot of people ask me about my trips and say it just doesn't sound even hard. You can hold your gun up in the air and shoot, and 8 or 10 birds are going to fall. That's not the case, is it?
No. I mean, shoot 1,000 birds in one day. You can do it with not much work. You have so many opportunities to shoot that you can shoot for a while, drink a beer, smoke a cigar, do a lot of things in a day without much effort. You can do it, but it's not like being beat up. It's just the goal of Tuku. Shoot 1,000 birds is the goal.
Yeah. You don't even make the Wall of Fame at 1,000 birds. You got to get to 3,000 in a day to make the Wall of Fame at the Tuku Lodge. And there are quite a few people that have done it. I watched a guy do it a handful of years ago. That is a big commitment to get up early and do that. It's an impressive sight. But I guess the point I'm trying to make, and that many people think about these bird hunts, Christian, is that there's so many doves in the air that you don't have to aim. That's not the case.
No, it's not the case. You have to have some skill to shoot these birds. You have to use the right things. We will provide you everything. I mean, we will give you the shotguns. We'll give you the instruction if you need it, but you have to get practice. Probably for a beginner, it's going to be difficult at the beginning because you have to learn the distance, the positions, everything to do it.
Yeah, it does.
As any sport, like when you play tennis, you always watch the ball, never watch the racket. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's same with the dove. You always watch the bird, never look the shotgun.
You're listening to What's Working. I'm CAM MARSTON. It's brought to you by Regions. Christian Druetta manages Tuku Lodge in the Salta province, the northernmost province in Argentina. It is a powerhouse of wing shooting that has yet to be discovered by the masses of wing shooters. And happy to say that Christian is both a friend and a regular cohort, I guess. I've visited him a number of times, and it's a non-traditional business for sure. And Christian, many of your guests, the ones that I've sat around the campfire with at those lunches in the field with the chef Mosquito, many of your guests are really, really experts on a lot of things that have to do with shotguns, that have to do with outdoors. They're great conservationists. You know, they're connoisseurs, I guess, of good bird shooting. So when you describe what you have to them, when you get them on the phone and they're not sure what to do and you describe what you have to them, what are they listening for? Is it volumes? Is it of birds? Is it how easy they are to shoot? Is it the niceness of the lodge? What do you do to sell Tuku Lodge and your outfitting to the most discerning customers?
I think it's a combination, a little bit of everything. The first thing they were looking for is the numbers of birds, also lodging, where you're going to stay, the service. A typical day, you wake up at 6:30 in the morning, have a good breakfast with eggs, bacon, coffee, fruits, and then 7:30 you start going to the field, and you will shoot for 3.5 hours, let's say. By noon, we set up a nice camp outside in the middle of the field and start cooking the famous asado, the barbecue, with red wine. And also the bird boy cleans some dog, and the chef will put bacon and cook that way. And it's a good experience to have that in the field. And then you can take a little nap after lunch for an hour and get back to the field for 3 more hours.
Yeah.
Then go back to the lodge, maybe have some massage, have professional massages that you can have in them. And then a good dinner with a good meal by the chef at night. But this is a combination, the experience that the clients, they like to have.
Yes. So since I've been with you, Christian, you've added rooms to the lodge. You've extended it. What is the future for Tuku? Let's assume that the doors open, your clients begin arriving again. Where would you like to see your work in 5 years?
Well, this year we have to reschedule a lot of groups. We can take 30 hunters and not using the same field. We can go different fields, and we have a lot of fields. Next year, this is going to be really good because in the south of Argentina, the numbers of birds not the same like it was 25 years ago or 20 years ago. And it's very important because the transformation of the agricultural land, it went up to the north of Argentina. And the climate a little bit warmer. So all the birds that were in the south of Argentina, they were moved up to this northern part of Argentina where we are.
So the hunters who are looking for those high volume hunts are going to have a harder and harder time finding them in the Cordoba region and the southern regions, and are instead going to start finding you and heading north to Salta, where you are the only outfitter by law allowed in that province. Is that correct?
That's correct. We are the only authorized outfitter in Salta. Just take clients one time to realize the number of birds compared with Cordoba. I can tell you by the clients. Clients who are put one step in Salta, they want to, and we have 80% repeat customers. As you, for example, or many clients, they just say, how can I see this before? Or some expression like that. If they pick Salta, they never go to Cordoba or some other operation.
Folks, the website is Tuku Lodge, TUKULODGE.com. If you want to see what it's all about, go find tukulodge.com. Christian Druetta is your point of contact. You can reach him through the website. And while the What's Working show is not designed to be a full-throated endorsement of any one organization, I can tell you right now, this one is. This show is. And I'm glad to hear Christian is still out there. I'm glad to hear Christian, that you've kept your staff on. I know that it has to have been difficult. And I look forward to you guys getting open in September. I'm eager for my return, Christian. And prior to this call, I printed out 3 pictures that I took with my 2 boys last year when I was there with you. And just smiles on my faces. You've got something really special. And it's not, just like I said, It's not just the hunting. It's the entire experience. It's being with my boys. It's seeing something so remarkably different than what I'm used to here in South Alabama. I absolutely love it. I wish you the best of luck, Christian. Let's stay in touch. And when you get open again in September, I'll make sure my listeners know.
Perfect. Sounds good. Well, thank you, Cam, for your time and for this program.
Yeah, thank you. I wish you the best. I hope that somebody will click on your site as a result of this, folks. It's unbelievable what you'll see down there. If you're a birder, if you're a wing shooter, and if you're looking just for something remarkably different to do, give it a try. You're listening to What's Working. I'm Cam Marston. Thanks, Christian.
Thanks, Mark.